Welcome back to my 2021 Ohio State football season in review and my 2022 Ohio State football preview season video, or should I say it differently? I don't know. You know what I mean. The point is this. Let's get it. All right. So, going to dive right into the Team Up North loss. Got to talk about it. It was a tough pill to swallow, and that pill that we all knew was eventually coming someday, which was an eventual loss to Scum. We haven't tasted that defeat in so long. I don't count 2011. 2011 was meh. Luke Fickell, interim coach, Tackgate. It sucked to lose, but it didn't really hit me. It was just like, we know what's up. You know what I mean? So this was the first real loss that I've felt since 2003 at the Big House with Chris Perry. So yeah, this has been a long time coming. With that said, we gotta have perspective with this, y'all. We gotta have perspective. They've literally beat us once, and if you want to count 2011, count 2011. But I mean, they've literally beat us once in like 20 years. Like, I mean, I'm not really tripping off of that. So, well, actually twice if you count 2011. But I mean, that's the perspective. It's like, yeah, it sucks, but I'll take a once a decade clip if that's the hand I'm dealt against that team up north. I'll take that. And I mean, and listen, this year was like a perfect storm. And look, first of all, as I continue, Michigan, the team up north, Scum, they earned that win. They out physicaled us, out coached us. Unfortunately, they shouldn't have, but that's what the situation was at Ohio State at that time with their coaching staff defensively. And they wanted it more, but at the same time, they had some things. I mean, it was at their place. The weather was not ideal for our passing attack, our heavy passing attack. Just wasn't ideal. And also they were very experienced, senior laden, upper class laden. And I believe they were, I forget which, they were like top 5 in experience as far as a veteran roster. They were up there. And we were like at the bottom. I think the fourth youngest team in the country. So you got that element as well, going on the road in a big time rivalry, a lot of first time players playing in that game. It was just time for them. They wanted it, they took it, and there was a lot of other things in play. And then on top of that, I've been saying this on my page, but the Care Bear energy is hilarious. Like, just across the country, it was like everybody kind of, the consensus was like, not Ohio State fans was like, man, it's time. Like, you can do it. You know what I mean? Like, just pulling for Scum and just wanting them to get over the hump and to beat the big bad bully, once and forever. So, even Joy Taylor on Cowherd was even saying the same thing. Like, she's not a Scum fan, but she's found herself rooting for them, rooting for Jim Harbaugh to finally get over the hump. So the Care Bear energy was real, man. It is what it is. They got the win, but the greater point is that, or the greater question is that sustainable? Was that sustainable? I know Scum fans and even their coaches want to try to posture themselves as if the tables are turning, but the facts don't really point to that. I mean, first and foremost, everything I mentioned is what it was that came into that win. But look at the recruiting rankings. Recruiting matters. And so when you have a mixture of experience and a bunch of seniors, at home and all that stuff, and a super young roster, first year starter, quarterback, true freshman running back, some young guys in key spots, on top of the fact that we've recruited top 5 class after top 5 class after top 5 class, and they have not done that. I can't see that being sustainable. Am I saying 100% locked that it's going to be another 10 years before they win? I'm not saying that, but I think that's more likely than back and forth, or them going on a run. You feel me? That's just And that's just not the fandom in me. Like, I have plenty to go off of, plenty of facts and logic to lean on to suggest that it will be back to regular schedule Buckeye programming starting next year at the crib. More experience, of course, the bitter taste of losing to them for once and forever. Uh, so I think it's night next year in the shoe, for sure. And for the foreseeable future, and we'll see what Hairball do. Is he gonna stay? I hope he does. I don't want him to leave. Uh, I want him to hold that L in the shoe and many more. But I don't think this year is sustainable. And then don't forget, man, Ryan Day, the dude is a nice guy in the camera, but he's really a killer. And all this Josh Gaddis running their mouth and Harbaugh, you was born on third base and hit a triple, all this crap, man, that stuff is going to come back on him, man. We got too much talent. We getting this staff together, that was the wrong move, but it is what it is. Cats don't be thinking before they run their mouth. So check it out. With that said, even though we had the unfortunate 2-loss season this year, it still ended in the best case scenario possible, right? We lose the scum. The whole country is beating us down. Are they soft? And they're going to lose the Utah, opt-outs, all that other crap. And so my scenario in my mind was like, you know what? Listen, the best thing for us is for scum to lose and not just lose to Georgia, but in dominating fashion to Georgia, which is what we got. Amen. Praise God. That's what's up. Then we get a win against Utah. When the opt-outs were announced, I knew Garrett Wilson wasn't going to play, but I wasn't sure about some of the others. I was like, okay, that's a tough blow, but I still felt like we still had more talent than Utah. It was a question of want to, and did we really want to be there? And I know the media banged that drum for weeks, but it was a legit question. So with that said, with scum losing to Georgia like they did, I was not surprised by that at all, because again, like scum beating us wasn't some sign that they were just so back and they were great. I already explained that. We took an L, we lost, things worked out for them, they wanted it, cool. But this is the same team that struggled against Rutgers at home and could, and barely won that game. Like, this scum team was definitely flawed, and Georgia had what it took defensively, especially to exploit that. So, but the greater point is, from a Buckeye fan standpoint, is obviously it's so funny, man. Scum fans just was coming out the woodworks, coming out the Homer Simpson bushes, out the sewers, out the gate, like cats I've known for years, talking about go blue, like out of the blue, like huh, like where did this come from? Like, seriously, you a scum fan? Like, I'm riding through Columbus, I'm seeing scum license plates now, and man, listen, ridiculous, and running their mouth like they're back and they've overtaken a rivalry, all that goofy energy. So it was imperative from my standpoint that Georgia dominated them to kind of put them back in their place. So then we get to the Rose Bowl, and we have the opt-outs and all other stuff, and I'm like, man, we about to win this game. I'm thinking like we still gonna win this game. Obviously it started out rough, but to end the season like we did in that Rose Bowl, a tough, gritty, grimy win against a physical team that beat up Oregon twice, so it wasn't a fluke. Whose game plan, whose whole persona is to basically rough you up and out physical you. We stood up to them in the second half and handled business, and got that W. And CJ Stroud, he said after the Heisman ceremony that he's gonna be the villain and all other stuff. Okay, we can laugh that off or whatever, but he played like it. The dude showed he is the best pure accurate passer in the country, and I don't even think that's a debate. And then of course Jackson Smith and Jigba, I like to call him Jackson Smith the Enigma, or the Enigma and Jigba, whatever. I coined that. If you take it, I want my royalty check. But he showed out. You know what I mean? I think he kind of showed, and there's no knock on Jameson Williams, but I think he kind of showed like, yeah, like I'm here. You know, ain't no would you take this person over me? Nah, like the dude is legit. He may not have Ted Ginn top end speed, but he has clearly enough speed to break free in the open field and to get open. You know what I mean? And get separation from DBs. He's physical. He's not soft at all. His hands are magnificent. Great routes. That dude, I was just so proud of that kid for what he did, especially knowing that he was the man. You know what I mean? And don't even get me started on Marvin Harrison. He looked great, in that game. He looked like a polished veteran running routes. Like the moment was not too big for him. And of course, in Fleming, he did well. He was solid. But Marvin Harrison's ceiling just looked higher in that game. And, obviously we got more cats, man. We got Ballard and a lot of young guys, man, who played well. Shoot, Teron Vincent, who I've not been impressed with this whole entire year, stood up and played well at D line. Eichenberg showed me some things. He showed me, more instinct. He triggered more. He wasn't hesitant. He was physical. So that was definitely encouraging for that linebacker core going into next year. And I'll get into that more later. But we're going to end this part now and go on to part 3 and talk about the coaching hires next. And what does that entail, what my thoughts are on that, and end it out like that. All right. See you then. Peace.